Battlefield Hardline. Sir, you guys obviously had a bunch of leaky leaks happening earlier in the month, but yesterday we finally got to see you guys unveil Battlefield Hardline. For folks who might have missed the conference, what is this new type of Battlefield? Because it seems like a completely new type of Battlefield.
Well, Danny, it's our take at Visceral on the great formula of Battlefield, and we're bringing cops and criminals to the battlefield this time.
Yeah, it looks like a quite an incredible war zone. I don't think I've seen a bank robbery quite like it. For the folks who mightn't have seen that demo, explain the sort of scale, how many players are we talking about, what's the sort of moment-to-moment action in Battlefield Hardline?
Sure, so in our press conference we unveiled a video that showed a 32-player match in heist mode, where the criminals are trying to get away with the loot, so they take out this armored truck, and they're trying to grab the loot out of the armored truck and take it to an extraction point, and the cops are trying to prevent that from happening. So the map's actually in downtown LA right here, where we're all walking around.
It was terrible. I heard cop cars go past my hotel last night, and I was getting freaked out by it. I was like,
yeah, it's kind of cool. It's really fun because the setting actually provides a lot of opportunity for players to play around with some of our new gadgets, like our zip line and grappling hook, because the map has a lot of cool verticality to it. So we've got some neat traversal gadgets that really help and pay off in the map.
Sure. Here we see some gameplay that you guys have put out there as well. It seems like that crazy cops and robbers thing you imagine as a child in your head, but just maybe a little bit more extreme. The type of vehicles that are at play in a city are very different to what you get in a battlefield, where these are like specific military vehicles created for a specific tactical purpose. What type of vehicles can you use in Battlefield Hardline?
Well, Danny, we actually put a lot of emphasis on making sure that we retain the authenticity that you expect from Battlefield. So we have that armored attack truck that you see in the video there. That's actually something that the police use. And we were amazed when we started digging into the level of armament and weaponry that the police forces actually have.
Yeah.
Whenever you see like a full-scale kind of situation occur where SWAT comes in, it's pretty neat to see what they kind of unveil. They've got all kinds of stuff from helicopters to attack trucks like that. And of course, criminals have ways of getting their hands on high-end weaponry as well. So what you see in the game is stuff that actually, the police force does have access to.
Yeah, but I guess alluding to that, like talking about that, there is a certain point where you guys as like creators of a video game just kind of have to stop and pretend, staying in line with what reality is, because if in reality, if there was a bank heist like that, that'd be pretty crazy bank heist for like cranes falling down and whatnot. Like, at what stage do you guys as creators of games just think, you know what, we have touchstones in reality, but we want to make this fun?
Well, ultimately, Danny, it's all about fun. So we're going to do whatever it takes to provide a great canvas for players to be creative inside of and actually have fun. And we want to let players make the fun themselves. And that's what's so amazing about the Battlefield franchise. It's just that sandbox style of gameplay you get in multiplayer. It's amazing when you watch all the videos online, those only in Battlefield moments where you see people just piling up C4 and launching tanks up into the air, and it's really amazing how creative people can be. So we want to provide a backdrop for them to have that fun and that creativity.
In terms of level design, this poses a lot of new challenges that perhaps military Battlefield games wouldn't. What type of levels should we be used to seeing in Hardline?
Well, right now we've got our high-tension map, and we'll be unveiling other maps throughout the rest of the campaign as we lead up to launch on October 21st. But I will say this, we have a variety of different settings. It's not all going to be urban like the high-tension map. You'll get to experience some organic maps as well, and a lot of neat locations.
Cool. The single player as well has been alluded to in some of the trailers we've seen as well. Will it be in line with other Battlefield games? Will there be a shortened single-player campaign, but the emphasis is on the multiplayer side?
Well, it's really important for us at Visceral to deliver a fun and compelling single-player experience.
Yeah, you guys have a good history of...
Yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing, and that was what was so exciting when we teamed up with the DICE guys to talk about this idea. They were excited about what we could bring to single-player. So yeah, we definitely have plans to make sure we deliver a really fun and engaging campaign. We'll be talking about that more next month. But for now, we're really excited about this crazy beta that we just launched.
Yeah, so you launched the beta yesterday. In keeping with Battlefield tradition, some people would say Origin took a bit of a punch to the chin. Is that a kind of in one sort of weird way, is that like a mark of like happiness that you guys, there was so much anticipation for the game that you managed to like create that much buzz around it that it sort of took down the framework a little bit?
Well, Danny, to be honest, we want our players to have a flawless experience at all times, and it's unfortunate that some of the networks that the game was on had some issues when all the people went to sign up. So ideally they don't have those problems, and we want to make sure that players have a great time from the second they try to engage with our game, and that's exactly why we're doing this beta. We want to learn from the community what we can do to improve the game. We've got more time before we have to finish the game, so we want to get that feedback and bring it in and address issues that they may find and make sure we have a really stable and fun launch for people. So yeah, I mean, it was a bummer that those issues happened. But this is going to be a learning experience for us at Visceral, and we really ultimately just want to deliver a great game for players. Yeah,
how much responsibility do you guys have at Visceral for that type of stuff? Because presumably a lot of it is out of your hands via DICE's framework or with Electronic Arts, who are actually running a lot of that sort of stuff.
Well, hey, listen, the way I look at it is we're all one big team, so whenever anything happens, it's all of ours. I'm going to own all of it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just that we're one team, one company, and there were some challenges, but you know what? Everybody reacted quickly. I think there's tons of people playing, and hopefully everybody's okay now.
Cool. Let's talk about the modes. You talked about Heist mode. We saw a load of that on the stage show yesterday. Can you talk about some of the other modes that are playable in Hardline and the way they changed just the core gameplay of Battlefield Hardline?
Sure. So the other mode that we're actually letting people experience right now is Blood Money. Okay. That's a symmetrical game mode where there's a giant pile of cash in the middle of the map that the cops are trying to recover as evidence, and the criminals are trying to get to because, hey, they want money. So that's kind of the focus. They're kind of rushing to that pile of money. Each team actually has their own vault where they have to collect the money and bring that money back to. So, the mission, the goal is to get as much money as you can and to win the match. Now, what's really cool about that mode is if you're all of a sudden losing because one team's just loading up their vault, you can do an end around, go to their vault, and steal the money out. So you can see these scores just drastically shift, and it provides a lot of cool choke points in terms of like engagement areas where people are having really good shootouts, but it also lets you kind of tip the balance quickly, so you're never really out of the match.
I saw we had a look at it a couple of weeks ago at GameSpot as well, and I love the fact that your truck actually physically fills up with money as you're collecting it.
Cool.
How did you, as well, when you're running around with the money, your bag is there's almost like a trail of money coming out of the back of the vehicle or the bag that you have.
Yep.
Is that purely for we want somebody to know that guy's got money?
Yeah, and it's just fun, right? Like to see that trail of money, and yeah, I mean it's an indicator, right? We've worked a lot on messaging and accessibility and making sure that people kind of know what to do throughout the various game modes, and that was just a clear identifier of, hey, this guy's got cash, because of course if you shoot him, he drops the cash, you can pick that up. But the other thing you could do, Danny, is you shoot that guy, he drops the cash, you can hang back, wait for his friend to come up and shoot him.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of cool gameplay that we get out of that.
Excellent. There seems to be a lot of new equipment to that end as well. You've got the grapple hook, you have a zip line as well.
Yep.
Could you explain how they sort of change up how players will attack different objectives?
Yeah, sure. So one of the other things we're trying to do in a high-tension map and throughout all the multiplayer maps is provide opportunities for verticality. Whether you want to scale all the way up to the top of the crane, or if you want to go camp out on a roof, the grappling hook helps you out, right? So you could use a grappling hook to get up on a roof. And then the zip line is just really fun because it provides really quick burst movement from place to place. So you can scale up to the top of one of these big giant downtown skyscrapers and then zip line to the next one across the way. So that's really fun. And again, we want to make sure that players not only have great traversal on the ground plane, but we want to allow for verticality. So those particular gadgets really help with that.
Yeah, and it seemed like you were trying to emphasize that in yesterday's trailer as well. There was quite a lot of up and down movement. Another thing that you showed off in the trailer was the levolution we have come to expect from Battlefield games. In some of the older games, it has some people have criticized it as being each level has that one thing that always falls down. How are you guys attacking levolution at Visceral, considering like that is a sort of a known quantity at this stage?
Well, as gamers, when we sat down to actually start designing these ideas, we wanted to make sure that we didn't just do things that were cool to look at.
Yeah.
We wanted those things to actually have an impact on what the players had to do and the play space. So we really just took more of a holistic approach to, hey, if we're going to do something like this giant crane collapse, what are the advantages that you get out of doing it, right? It's not about taking things away. It's about providing new opportunities and new inventive ways for players to play. So when that crane comes down, you create, if you're on the police side, for instance, it creates a great vantage point if you want to keep an eye on the bag locations in heist.
Yeah.
It also creates a great traversal path for the criminals when they're trying to do a quick getaway. So we really put that at the forefront of what we're doing. When we have something happen in the map, whether it's a small scale kind of event of destruction or it's something big like that crane, we want players to feel like there's an incentive and a reason to do it. Not just to have cool visual effects, but to actually have some kind of tactical advantage. I mean, that's really what Battlefield's about. Being tactical, creating opportunities for yourself, playing as a team.
Yeah, and in the trailer we saw a lot of really good teamwork. The reality of Battlefield is that sometimes that sort of teamwork doesn't happen. The people who don't know each other are on random servers and they're not encouraged to work as a team. How are you guys at Visceral going to try and create modes and levels that encourage that type of cooperation?
Yeah, so we're doing a bunch of different things. Some of the stuff we're doing on kind of the squad side is, stuff as simple as when you're running with your squad, you run faster.
Okay.
When you go up to a guy that's got a pack on his back, let's say he's got a medic pack, now you can just run up to him. Instead of like yelling at the guy, hey, drop a medic pack for me, drop a medic pack. You just go up to him, hit the action key, and then all of a sudden you're getting healed. We're doing things to allow players to get what they want out of the game, right? We don't want to force them to play as a team if they don't want to because, hey, we realize some people either maybe don't want to or just don't know how to yet because it can be a little intimidating when you first get into Battlefield. I mean, there's such a legacy. So many people have been playing it for so long. So we want to ease that accessibility, let people get in there, but ultimately we want to reward for team play. We don't want to punish for not doing it. We want to reward you for doing it.
Well, I was very mean and did not go to the chat too often because I had so many selfish questions myself.
What do we got?
As a massive fan.
Get in here.
Black Mesa's asking, are weapons unlocked like usual or are they purchased from money that you get in matches? And are there any new
Black
classes?
Mesa, what is this twit icon?
That's Twitter. I don't know what that is. I think it's him standing in front of the mirror taking a selfie.
You're doing a weirdo
What's your
selfie?
One?
All right.
Like it?
Hey, Black Mesa, hey, check it out. Your question is, are weapons unlocked like usual, or are they purchased for money, won in game matches? Yes, they are purchased with money, won in game matches. You can kind of jump around. We don't have that same level of progression that you've seen in past Battlefields, and we do actually use cash. And again, that's another thing that we're focused on, which is allow players to pick and choose what they want. We're not locking you into one progression. Hey, have to go through this entire weapon progression. Hey, if you want to jump to a different gun, as soon as you got that cash, you can go ahead and jump down to it. Now, another thing we're doing, Danny, that's pretty cool is we're going to have this idea of weapon licenses, right? So you're not only going to have the ability to, pick the weapons that you like within an individual class. But let's say you played one class and you really love the weapon in that class, but you're the kind of person that wants to unlock everything. You can buy a weapon license for it. So for me, I really like the P90. I can buy a P90 weapon license and then go play the Professional, which is a sniper, and I can use that weapon if I want to.
Cool.
So we're doing a lot of things to encourage replayability, experimentation, and letting players pick and choose the way they want to play.
Excellent. Steve Pabutsits, Visceral Games, thank you so much for coming on. You're quite the talker. I always love talking to you. Battlefield Hardline, for the folks at home, when is it out and on what platforms?
It's out October 21st. In North America. No, I'm just messing with you. October 21st in North America, October 23rd over in Europe, and I think it's the 24th in the UK.
Sweet. Steve, thank you very much again. We'll be back on the GameSpot stage pretty soon with Lego Batman 3, but first we're going to check out some Super Smash Bros.